Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very exciting video as the CEO of Palantir Technologies, Alex Karp, has just finalized and wrapped up an intense interview with the BBC regarding the National Health System, NHS, and the data management interview regarding AI concerns. And why this is really important is because, remember, they are the top contender for that $479 million contract through the UK, which could bring lots of revenue and be very bullish for the company. So we're going to be picking apart this video. We have credit here to Brett Krieger, who posted it on Twitter. We're going to be going through the whole thing, and we're going to be picking apart, seeing how the interviewer is asking questions and how Alex Karp is responding it, trying to find some impressions, trying to find some answers. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the interview.
Let me read you this quote from Doctors Association UK, who are concerned about Palantir or any private company taking on the role of bringing all this data together. They point out that recent polling from YouGov has found that almost half of adults in England who have not yet opted out of having their data used, 48% are likely to do so should the federated data platform be introduced and run by a private company. That must alarm you.
Yes, it is very, but there's a reason for that, and I'll tell you the reason. Because almost every other private company in the world, besides my company, will take that data and transfer it to somebody else. And so if you're in England, you assume that when a private company touches your data, that they're going to use it for their purposes.
Yes.
Palantir doesn't do that?
Yeah, but you might in the future.
We've never done it in 20 years.
Sure.
Great answer right there, saying, hey, Palantir does not transfer data, especially from the data that it collects. We haven't done it in 20 years. Good answer. And to basically show proof that you've built up this credibility in terms of safety with data management, and you have the trustworthiness, and you're able to say, we haven't done it in 20 years, so why would we do it now?
But you may in the future.
Well, first of all, we wouldn't even be able to. So the way our product is set up, I don't have access to your data.
What a bombshell drop there to saying, hey, Palantir doesn't even have the ability to do that. There's no access that's given to these people. It's all pretty secure, saying that they don't even have the ability. So great to continue on with answering with these questions that are being pressed towards Alex Karp.
Our product does not allow you to do that.
Okay, well, let me put this to you. If that number of people do opt out, then Doctors Association UK says that will have a catastrophic impact on the quality of NHS data, which is an extremely precious British health resource. I mean, if that many people opt out, then the data becomes meaningless.
First of all, my strong supposition is that people are assuming things will happen with the data that don't happen. And that.
So he's basically saying, hey, everybody is thinking that the data is just going to be sold. That's their number one concern is data safety. And he's saying that's not going to happen.
When you show them that it's not going to happen, and you can show them in real life that they won't. But leaving that aside, when you go to the doctor now, you have a pile of paper. Mm-hmm. So you go to the doctor now, not just here, but anywhere in the world, anywhere not using.
No, I get the reasons why. I get the reasons why and why it would make things way more efficient.
Let me explain to you why people, I think, will opt in. First of all, you have to answer these questions in a transparent way. Then you have to show people that for the first time, their hospital bed is available. They understand why it's available. They understand if it's not available, why it's not available. When they go to the doctors, they don't have to fill out the paper, work 15 times and watch it get lost.
I understand that. I understand that. What I'm putting to you is, you say you can never do it, you've got no plans to sell this data, or what I'm putting to you is, if you've got.
She just completely dodged all that and goes back to the data concerns questions. She really wants Alex Karp to basically show some type of a concern here, that there would be a concern with the data collection in terms of a private company having all of this data. So she just keeps going back and back and back to this question.
All that data, as Doctors Association UK says, an extremely precious British resource, in one place, that opens the door in the future to it being sold. Correct?
But by the UK government, not by me.
Boom. That's probably one of the best parts of the interview right there. He's saying the UK government would sell it. He doesn't have access to it. So it would be the UK government's fault if the data were to get leaked or sold or transferred to some other type of company that they're trying to sell it to. Great answer.
Okay.
I don't have the ability to do it.
You can see why people are concerned then.
Absolutely. So the way to deal with people's concerns is to show them this is going to be much better for your life. It's going to improve your health outcome. By the way, the NHS has a huge problem with backlog. Those problems are not solvable without technology.
Okay. Your company is in the running to win this huge contract, according to Foxglove, which campaigns to make technology fairer for everybody, and according to Doctors Association UK, as a result of what they call pandemic opportunism and a concerted lobbying effort. What would you say to that?
We go to clients all the time and we say, look, we believe our product is the best. We will give it to you for free and you can test it. By the way,
He's talking about the AIP Bootcamp, which is the artificial intelligence platform. Bootcamp, we've talked about this. Basically, if you're new to the Palantir, you can try out, and they claim that they will give you a 0 to a use case scenario within 5 days, and this can really help for trialing and to help bring new clients to the table.
that's the other thing I would say. We're giving you the single most successful enterprise product in America, the most difficult place to win in.
Okay.
So,
well, just so we make it clear for our audience, your company charged the NHS just £1 in 2020 to develop its COVID data store, which holds personal information on patients around diagnosis, treatment, etc. You then gave the government for free an IT system.
by the way, what's the problem with that?
Well, let me get to the end of the
Another great mic drop right there. So yeah, what's the issue? I'm doing a kind service. I'm developing all these technologies for very cheap, for $1, for £1, or for free, in bringing lots of resources and helpful resources to the people that need it and to the people that need the data management.
The question, if I may. You then gave the government for free an IT system to help with its Homes for Ukraine scheme. The government's procurement watchdog wrote to you about his concerns about how you gained a commercial foothold. He's
Again,
concerned.
Just let me explain something that's more towards America.
Well,
we have a problem in America in government that a lot of the software doesn't work. And so they're basically attacking us for saying, I know our software works. Most of the software that these entities use, as everybody in the NHS knows, is not working. So I want to prove to whether it's the United Kingdom's government or it's my massive business in American commercial. If I show up to you as a smart person and say, my software's so good, I'm going to charge you $10 million. You're like, well, if it's so good, why can't I try it? So it's because that's what every smart person's going to say.
Boom. He's basically saying he's answering the question that all of these possible clients would ask, is saying, why can't I try it if you're going to offer this crazy price for the products? And he's basically saying because it works, all the data systems in the software doesn't work right now. And he's got a workable software that can help bring efficiency to the data management platforms.
I've been all over the world over 20 years. I spend most
But isn't it also true, Mr. Karp, sorry to interrupt, isn't it also true, it then puts you in pole position for a really lucrative contract like this one with the NHS?
Everybody in the world who's in this business should do the same thing. One of the things.
But do you accept it puts you in pole position?
I use this way of going to market because I believe most software products don't work. It only puts us in an advantageous position because everybody who doesn't like it, by and large, does not believe their product works, or they would do the same thing. By the way, that product, under those conditions, saved thousands and thousands and thousands of lives across the world during the COVID epidemic. Thousands of lives.
I wonder.
I mean, she keeps saying, do you think that puts you in pole position? I mean, of course, that's just business. Offering it for free, a trial. You should offer for trial, especially for something that's expensive. Why not allow these clients to try it, to see and prove that it works before they buy it? I mean, I don't know why she's so concerned about that.
If you could sum up for our audience watching then, what are some of the biggest benefits that can come from AI and what are some of the biggest threats?
Well, the benefits are, again, better care at the point of need in healthcare. Every system in the United Kingdom works better. And those are the real benefits. Like your life expectancy goes up, your happiness goes up. You can fight against the evils of AI, including discrimination and false imagery.
What about the risks?
And the biggest risk is that the technology develops to the point where it's dangerous to us all. And that is a real risk. And that's why we need government officials to be actively looking at.
I just want to pause here. Sorry for interrupting a lot, but it's just funny how she is trying to catch him at a low point or trying to get him to say something that will look negative upon Palantir.
Actively have a better understanding of how these things work and can be able to intervene when it looks like it's going off the rails.
Let's talk about the AI Summit, which is why you're in the UK. Rishi Sunak has explained why he's invited China, because he says it would be ridiculous not to have China. They're a huge investor in AI. Is he right?
Look, I think your Prime Minister's brought together what is arguably the most important AI summit to ever happen outside of America. It is positioning the United Kingdom to be the leader in Europe.
Should China be there?
I believe that we are in an arms race and that the world is fracturing. And if it was my decision to invite adversarial countries, I would not have.
And finally, I wonder how we're already seeing a sort of divide growing between tech-savvy international billionaires like yourself and the majority of people who might be trying to keep up with this technology and also thinking, hang on, it's potentially going to take my job and take away meaningful work and an income.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is a very legitimate concern because in most situations where you have a leap forward in technological innovation, the average worker pays the price.
Mm-hmm. Will it be the same this time?
Well, this is a context where I think embraced correctly, you'll have more jobs. Simply for the reason I mentioned, that you can now plausibly do things as well or better than any other country in a business-friendly,
what a turnaround on the question.
Entrepreneurial environment like the United Kingdom. One of the things I hope this summit and this begins to get across to people is this technology can actually be the friend of the average worker. Whereas in most cases, these technologies, people at the top benefit and get wealthier and happier, and everyone else gets poorer and hungrier and lives a worse lifestyle.
So how can this technology be the friend of the average worker?
Because you can now build a lot of things in the United Kingdom that were difficult to build in the past.
Good way to end it right there. I think excellent answers by Alex Karp. I think they should have found a better interviewer, would be my question. But from the interviewee, great answers, I think, from Alex Karp. Great interview, and basically saying AI is not going to replace us all. Rather, it's going to be a tool to incorporate, to help society, to help the efficiency, to help the effectiveness, to help the quality among, especially talking about here at the national health system, among patients, helping in terms of healthcare, being used as a tool, and that Palantir has never sold the data. So great answers right here, saying that he doesn't even have access. The UK government would be the one to sell the data. And the agenda from the interviewer is interesting because trying to catch him at a low point here. Great answers. He's getting very good at his interview skills, and this keeps me really bullish. And I think the fact that they even had to do this, and thank you to Brett Krieger here, I don't even know who this guy is, but on Twitter for posting this, he basically says is that Palantir can be trusted, and this furthers his conviction on why Palantir actually won the contract, because there'd be no interview basically if he didn't. And I'd agree with that they're probably the top contender here, considering this interview was even conducted in the first place. So great to see that there on their end. Like I said, great representation. I think Alex Karp is doing a great job in terms of representing, in terms of public media and things like that. Let me know what you guys think. There's an exciting week ahead, of course, because earnings are going to be next week. Lots of eyes are going to be looking at Palantir. Lots of volatility. We're going to be keeping a close eye on it. Leave down in the discussion. What do you think about this interview? How do you think it went? And I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.